Welcome to KJTV News. Israel has released 183 Palestinian prisoners as part of a negotiated exchange deal, following the release of 3 Israeli hostages by Hamas. The exchange, which is part of a broader ceasefire agreement, has seen significant developments on both sides. According to Palestinian authorities, 18 of the released prisoners were serving life sentences, while more than 100 were from Gaza and had been detained after October 7, 2023, without trial. The prisoner exchange was structured so that 30 Palestinian detainees, including 3 serving life terms, were released for each of the hostages, Keith Ziegel and Ofer Cordron. An additional 12 prisoners serving life sentences were released for Yarden Bibers. Under the terms of the agreement, Israel has committed to releasing over 1,000 Gazan detainees throughout the implementation of the ceasefire deal. On Saturday alone, Israel freed 111 detainees who had been arrested in Gaza, but were not directly involved in the October 7th attack. Of the 183 prisoners released, 150 were sent back to Gaza, 32 were released into the West Bank, and 1 was deported to Egypt. The release process was carried out from various Israeli prisons, with the detainees being transported to their respective destinations via Red Cross buses. Prisoners among the released prisoners was Mohammed El-Halabi, a former aid worker from Gaza who had been sentenced to 12 years in prison on charges of diverting humanitarian funds to Hamas. His case had drawn international criticism from human rights groups. Another high-profile release was Shadi Amouri, a Fatah operative convicted for his role in the 2002 suicide bombing that killed 17 Israelis. Additional individuals released included Ashraf Abu Shrawa, convicted for the 2000 killing of IDF SGT, Shahar Vakrit, and Farik Borikot, an Egyptian national jailed for his involvement in a 2007 suicide bombing in Eilat. Following their release, the freed Palestinian prisoners received a warm welcome upon their return. In Gaza, hundreds of people gathered in Khan Yunis to celebrate their arrival, with many chanting slogans and expressing joy at their release. However, some returning prisoners were visibly shocked at the devastation in Gaza, as entire neighborhoods have been reduced to rubble due to ongoing conflict. In the West Bank city of Ramallah, another group of released detainees was met by cheering crowds. Among them was Attar Abdelghani, who had served 23 years in prison and was finally able to meet his 10-year-old twin sons, who were conceived while he was incarcerated. The latest prisoner exchange brings the total number of Palestinian detainees freed under the ceasefire deal to 583, while the agreement has provided temporary relief and facilitated the return of hostages. Tensions remain high in the region. With more prisoners set to be released, international observers are close. We will keep you updated on situation. Let's go in Mali. A suspected jihadist attack on a convoy escorted by the Malian army and Russia's Wagner mercenary group has left at least 10 people dead in northern Mali. Officials confirmed on Saturday. The attack took place on Friday between the cities of Gao and Ansongo. According to a local official, the attackers ambushed a civilian convoy under military escort, resulting in multiple casualties. At least 10 people have been killed, but the toll may rise, the official said, requesting anonymity. Both civilians and soldiers are among the dead. A medical source reported that many of the victims, both dead and wounded, had been transported to Gao, the main city in northern Mali. A transport trade union source stated that a survivor recounted how the attackers ambushed the convoy's escorts and indiscriminately opened fire to maximize casualties. A second local official detailed the convoy's composition, explaining that the military and Wagner forces were in about 10 vehicles, protecting 22 minibuses carrying civilians, 6 large buses, and 8 lorries. At least 5 lorries were destroyed in the attack, which has been attributed to Islamic State, is militants, though no group has officially claimed responsibility. The Malian army has not publicly commented on the attack, but a military source insisted that security forces were maintaining control over the route between Ansongo and Gao. This region has witnessed multiple attacks in recent months, attributed to jihadists and criminal groups targeting civilians and military convoys. Mali has faced growing security challenges since 2012, with violence linked to Al-Qaeda, its affiliated groups, and local armed gangs contributing to instability. Stay tuned to KJTV News for more updates on global news.